discover everything marketing, from AI to advertising, from cutting edge to traditional ways of marketing. Well, today with our expert, we're going to be discussing all of that because we have the ultimate expert on marketing in every area. So you know the drill. You got to stick around to find out. Welcome to Waist Up Wardrobe. I'm Christine Vartanian, an attorney turned personal style expert and image consultant. As the founder of Jade House of Style, I am passionate about unveiling the inner confidence of my clients by developing their personal style and dressing them for success. But is getting dressed up still important in our virtual world? Well, that's where my experience can help with what I call Waist Up Wardrobe. Waist Up Wardrobe is a podcast for all things you need to conduct an outstanding Zoom meeting. It's about how to dress for the camera, but it's not just about the clothes. It's about everything you need to know to show up on brand and professionally for the camera. Join me in the Waist Up Wardrobe studio to discuss how to navigate this virtual world and dominate from behind the desk. Hello, virtual Waist Up Wardrobe Nation. Thank you for being here for episode 156 of Waist Up Wardrobe. As you know, we are on iTunes, so you can listen to us if you can't watch. And we are on a lot of platforms, including YouTube. And we are here on Facebook Live on Thursdays at 11:30. Most Thursdays, sometimes we take a dark day here or there, but most Thursdays we are here at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you go and rate us and review us on iTunes and let us know how we're doing here. We really appreciate all the feedback because we want to bring you some really good content that you can use and take away. So before I get started, I want to say thank you to my awesome producer, Rick Moscoso, who's always here in the green room making this whole production possible. So thank you, Rick, for making the wheels of Waist Up Wardrobe turn. And I want to get right to it because today we're going to be talking about marketing mania. We're going to talk everything marketing, from cutting edge tools to the traditional stuff, what works, what doesn't work, how do you target a certain audience. We're going to be talking about all of that with our guest today, Robert Brill, who is a marketing expert. And he is Robert Brill, excuse me, you know, it's this thing about needing glasses when I'm reading these days. And I was like, oh, okay. Robert Brill is the CEO of Brill Media, a media buying agency that focuses on precision advertising for business growth. The company has been honored 10 times across Inc. 5000, Financial Times 500. Robert Brill is a member of the Forbes Business Council and Fast Company Executive Board, where he writes about improving the user experience, which is so important when you're marketing, right? Improving that user experience, the business growth strategies, and data targeting, local advertising, and white label media buying. Additionally, he speaks about advertising, marketing, AI, and entrepreneurship to business owners across the country to help them improve their marketing plans. So please help me welcome Robert Brill. Hi,
Hey,
Robert.
hey, Christine. Thanks for having me.
Well, I am delighted that you're here. Thank you for coming on to share all your wisdom and knowledge. Well, maybe not all of it, but we're going to hit on some high notes, and really, really excited to dive deep into, you know, your tips and hacks and advice on marketing, because for entrepreneurs, I feel as though marketing can be such a nebulous area to know where to invest, to figure out how, if it's actually really working. I mean, I've heard of business owners spending thousands and thousands of dollars and feeling like there were no results. So
Yeah.
we're going to really talk about all that, and I'm really excited. But before we get started, I have this thing about trying to get to know our guests.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a pop-up quiz, but it's nothing about what you don't know. It's just about you and your background. So, so this will be fun. All right. So it's just this or that questions, easy answers, no pressure here. So dogs or cats?
Dogs.
And why?
We have two, and we love
Oh,
them, and they're sweet.
what are their names and what kind of dogs?
Ice Cream is 15 pound, is our 15-year-old 5-pound toy fox terrier, and then Rocky is our mutt that we got off the street, and he's the best. And then my wife came into our relationship with a dog who has since passed named Louie.
Oh my God. Well, we have quite a bit in common
Yeah.
because I have 2 dogs, and one of my dogs' name is Rocky.
Oh,
He's a Cavapoo, okay? And I also have rabbits
oh,
because I
nice.
have created a pretend farm. And my first rabbit, his name is Louie. So, is that wild or
That's
what?
cool. How do they get along, dogs and rabbits?
Well, rabbits are prey animals and dogs
Right.
are not. So the dogs do quite a bit of chasing. The rabbits get a little scared and they'll like go into their little, hole or a secret place and run away. But as long as I'm supervising them, they're okay. They just kind of are curious about each other. But I can't leave them alone. I mean, and not, yeah, my bunnies are pretty young. So
Yeah, that's good.
yeah, they're very delightful animals. They're very quiet and they can be litter box trained, believe it or not.
That's
And
cool.
they are brand aligned because on Waist Up Wardrobe, we talk a lot about being in your bunny slippers waist down. So,
Yeah, you gotta have I'm wearing Uggs right now,
oh,
comfy
yeah.
house Uggs. Yeah,
Yeah, hence our name, Waist Up Wardrobe. We only care about waist up because we're on camera right now.
yeah,
All right. Well, one more question. LA or Orange County?
definitely Los Angeles.
Oh, well, tell me why.
Well, my family's out here. I grew up in the Valley. I feel very comfortable in the Valley. Although I did live in West LA for a while near the beach, kind of like close-ish to the beach, and it was like literally and figuratively cooler.
Uh-huh.
Um, I just don't go much out to Orange County, so I like what I know, which is LA.
I get that. Well, we like what's familiar to us, but I
Yeah.
will tell you, Orange County is pretty fun. I mean, I know LA is probably more fun, but Orange County is different and fun in a different way. So maybe you'll make it out sometime
Yeah.
soon. All right. Well, we're gonna dive into this marketing mania. We just want to get to all our questions and kind of give the audience some nuggets that they can take away. And I wanted to just ask you if you can give me the one thing in your mind about marketing that every entrepreneur should pay attention to. Like, what's that one thing that they need to be focused on when they're trying to create a marketing plan?
I need to hire an expert. Just like
Right.
when you don't feel good, you go to the doctor, you don't go to your neighbor. When your car doesn't work, you go to a mechanic. When your plumbing is clogged up, you talk to a plumber. A lot of B2B and B2C companies are offering some level of expertise. And I think we should eat our own dog food. Like we need to buy access to the expertise that is going to make our business grow and save us thousands of hours and tens of thousands of dollars in wasted ad spend and going down the wrong path. So number one rule of marketing is hire an expert. Then the question is, how do you find an expert?
Yes. Yes. And before you get to the answer on
Yeah.
that, because I'm sure you have some
Yeah.
tips on that. I can't tell you the countless number of business owners whom I have met and talked to about marketing who've said, we spent thousands of dollars on a marketing strategy with a marketing expert, and we got no results, or at least they didn't know of the results, or they couldn't
Right.
measure the results. And I find that many business owners get disappointed when they decide to budget for that in a big way. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. There's a few things. Number one, fundamentals are important. We don't deal in the arts of growth hacking, and there are people who are focused on that. Like, there's a way to make TikTok, or sorry, X. You can run ads on X for very low cost and get many millions of impressions or views for very low cost. But what we focus on is sustainability, and really the fundamentals that used to work in like the 1970s still work in 2024. They're deployed differently, but understanding the fundamentals is important. So number one, when you're setting expectations and you have a budget for marketing and advertising, um, you need to have the right expectations, and it's incumbent upon the services provider to set the right expectations for you. If what they're offering to you sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So let's talk about a few things. Let's talk about how you identify the right marketing services provider. Number one, chances are they have wrinkles because they have experience. To determine if they have experience, look at their face. Are there wrinkles? And number two, look at the LinkedIn profile. Like, do you have a history of people like there? I've seen people in the marketing space who their experience is the school of hard knocks. Like, okay, it's a bunch of baloney, which might be true. Like, you might have had a hard life, but also I don't see any experience you have. So that's number one. You want to look for experience. Number two, just like with any relationship, you need context, communication, and consistency. You need to understand what is happening, what the marketing efforts are that are being deployed on the behalf of your business. Your provider needs to provide expectations for you that are actually set in reality. And there needs to be context of like, why is your marketing or advertising campaign doing what it's doing? And what are you learning from it? And how are you going to improve on that? And consistency is this fundamental idea. It's the McDonald's principle. You can go to McDonald's anywhere in the world and know what a Big Mac is going to taste like. And the consistency principle is that you're going to be able to pick up the phone, send a Slack message, send an email, send a text, something, and your partners, your marketing partners will be there to answer the phone and help guide you through the process. We specifically do advertising, and advertising is a subset of marketing. So when you think of marketing, there's a few different like things that fall into that. There's public relations to get your name in the press. There's search engine optimization to get you ranked on Google, so people search for you and they find you on Google and Microsoft. There's advertising. By definition, advertising is when you pay a publisher or a television network or something to deliver a marketing message. So if you pay if you pay to deliver your message, that is fundamentally advertising. If you're not paying an entity to deliver your message, then it's not advertising, it's promotion, it's marketing, something else. So part of the question is when someone says, I've been burned by my marketing agency, you have to have the right expectations. Either you need to figure it out or your marketing agency needs to figure it out. And then fundamentally, you need to have trusted partners who will usher you, steward you through that process so your business grows. The last thing I'll say is that marketing and advertising are practices. The legal profession is a practice. Yoga is a practice. It's something you do every day and get better and better at. So I know my craft. I know I've been doing this for 20 years. The practice and the iterative part of this process comes from taking what we know about the fundamentals of marketing and advertising and deploying it for a specific business at a given moment in time. All those elements together create a great partnership. Anything that's black box or opaque, that's usually a bad partnership when it comes to two businesses working together.
Interesting. That really a lot to unpack there, but that is a great overview. I love that you consider advertising or marketing as a practice, and the professional who is a marketing expert is somebody who gets better and better at it. Is that what you're referring to? Or are you referring to the actual process of it getting more and more, yielding more and more results?
I definitely live with abundance or the growth mindset that I'll be a more interesting, better person, human, professional, whatever, in a year from now than I am today.
Yeah.
So part of it is going to be that I'm going to be better at my craft after doing this for 20 years. So 21 years, I'll be better than 20. But also, actually, what I was kind of like trying to communicate there is that when two companies go together, when a business is starting to market and advertise, you have the benefit of 20 years of experience that I have in the marketing and advertising space, and then the hundreds of years collectively my team has doing this work.
Mm-hmm.
And you also have what the business knows about its own marketing and advertising practices.
Yeah.
Together, you're forming this new sort of like collaborative entity, and that entity needs to improve every day. And here's part of the reason why. A business that's spending money on marketing and advertising, if you're going to spend money on advertising specifically, if you're going to spend money to amplify a message across Meta, Google, TikTok, LinkedIn, whatever the case is, you need to be sending a message that is going to ask people to buy from them. That's going to get people to buy stuff, to spend money from them with them. But if you don't have product market fit, like if you don't have what people want, or you don't know how to talk about yourself in a way that people will buy, or you're priced incorrectly, all of those things mean you're spending money to amplify a message that people already don't want. So you need product market fit, which is part of the assessment that, we do for our clients, is to suggest, like, what have you done in the past that actually indicates that it's right for you to be marketing right now? Because maybe it's not the right time to market right now, or maybe it's time to market with a different set of expectations. If you don't have product market fit, you can use marketing and advertising to really understand to help you gain product market fit, which means you're not there to generate sales. You're really there to get learnings about your business.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, we have the ultimate cause in anything, right? And so for marketing, there's ultimate cause that you want to bring in more clients, but there are other things that we learn along the way, even if we don't get to the final cause, right? There are all these things that we've learned along the way that benefit us and then help us hone it and refine it, I would imagine.
Yes.
So, you were talking about consistency. And so my question is very specific. It is, how long, like if you were to hire a marketing firm, and again, I just still feel like it would be really nebulous, right, to know it's going to work or not work. But how long do you keep doing what you're doing before you know if you actually something's happening? Like, you have to give it, there's a learning curve, and there is time needs to go by so you could test and so forth. Is a year enough to give a marketing company
3 months?
Really?
Well, there's a few things. It depends on what you're trying to accomplish. So the first step of any relationship is to say, here's what we're trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree that we are trying to achieve X?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then we go to market and say, we're going to try to achieve X. Now, the things that a business should expect out of a marketing company are the following: performance. You've got to so first of all, likes, comments, and shares don't pay the bills. Like, don't focus your money on getting likes, comments, and shares. There's an ad campaign on TikTok right now for TikTok that says, hey, you don't have a lot of views, spend money and get a bunch more views. But you don't need views. I mean, that's a conduit to sales, but what you actually need to measure your success by is, like, is your accounting team busy?
Yeah.
Like, right? Yeah. Not likes, comments, and shares.
Yeah.
So there needs to be a set of shared expectations about what you're going to accomplish. So those things can be performance. I need a certain number of leads, or a certain quality of leads, or I need to generate sales. Or I'm already generating sales, but I need to increase the order value. Those are metrics that need to be aligned ahead of time. Or so that's usually primary. The secondary thing that a lot of people don't think about with marketing and advertising is the real-time feedback loop. Advertising in particular is a real-time feedback loop. You're running ads, people are clicking, they're buying, or they're generating lead data, and you get to understand what consumers want out of your business based on how they interact with your business online. So not only are you generating sales, but you're learning more about the business, which product or service is pertinent to the marketplace, and which product or service is people really don't want, because even though you're running ads, they're not buying from you.
Yeah. It comes down to target market, like knowing your target market, maybe, because maybe something that you sell in like an affluent area may not sell in a less economically driven area. Does it come down to target market, or what are your thoughts on that?
It's product market fit. It's this idea that like, what to say and how to say it and how to price your product or service so that people buy. So the same product, you can increase in price, and that increase in price makes the product more valuable and people will start to buy. Whereas if you lower the price, people will think, oh, that's not valuable. It's priced too low, so I'm not going to buy it. It's not high quality. So you change the equation. You can take the same product and say, I'm going to appeal to lower income people. I'm going to change the pricing structure such that I'm going to appeal to lower income people. same product or service, just priced differently. So what ends up, what this bleeds into ultimately is the concept of business intelligence, business decision making, and really being for us, one of the key like motivations for us is we want to be a business partner. Now we drive business through advertising, but we'll give you all kinds of insight about your business that can pertain to your overall business strategy.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's very interesting. So now that we were talking about like marketing and all, there's a lot of tools out there. Do you have a favorite tool that you love when it comes to marketing, or does it vary?
Yeah, I mean, specifically for a tool, the favorite one I have right now is called Descript. It's an AI video editing tool. So if you go to my TikTok channel, you're going to see like me with this exact background. Um, and there are subtitles, and the editing is done with like 2 clicks of the mouse, and then the template of the subtitles is added as well. And so it's a really easy way to there's a couple reasons. Number one, it saves me time. I don't have to pay an editor, and I get pretty darn good videos. The second thing that's interesting about this tool is I get the opportunity to test different intros and hooks to see which one is more interesting to the audience. So one video I create that might be 2 minutes, I actually get anywhere between 2 and 4 different videos out of it, with the content rearranged in different ways. From a platform perspective, I really enjoy TikTok. I think TikTok is an amazing place to share ideas, to learn about different things, to get opinions and perspectives from different people. And so from a platform perspective, I really enjoy TikTok.
I see. And what do you think about Instagram? Because I feel as though people are either on TikTok or Instagram. They kind of choose one where they're more active on. Do you have an opinion on that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the data on that particular like decision between TikTok and Instagram, but what you're telling me definitely sounds right. What I'll tell you is that I think TikTok has a much stronger algorithm, but that's an opinion. I've seen people who are doing really well on Instagram. I really enjoy TikTok because it's done really great for us to get in front of, 20 years of experience. I have a lot of people that I've met along the way in the advertising business, and I get an opportunity to reach them. I've rekindled relationships from 15 or 17 years ago by continuously and consistently creating content on TikTok. So I really devote my time and attention there. I've also created new business opportunities by being on TikTok. And I'll also say that, anything that we post on TikTok, we amplify on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on X. So it's not exclusively TikTok. But when I'm creating content, it's for the TikTok audience.
I see. So you create it for TikTok, and then do you automatically disperse it to these other platforms, or is there a whole process that you have to use for each one?
Right. So there's a tool we use that's called repurpose.io or reusevideo.com. It'll take you to the same place. And that tool, it basically, like, I can post on TikTok, and then I can take the same video and, press a few buttons, and it gets posted out to my LinkedIn profiles. I have 2, the personal and the business, and all the major channels. Yeah. So pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Well, so I'm very active on Instagram, but they keep changing the algorithm. And so once I start feeling like I'm doing great, then things change. And then it's like, wait, what is going on? What happened? So I have been on TikTok before. I just happen to feel like Instagram has been easier for me to use, but I just started another TikTok account for just fashion fixes. As you know, my background, well, what I do has a lot to do with image consulting and branding your image. So I just started a new channel, and I just posted my second video of that today. So because I want to get into sort of the educator persona on TikTok. and see how that goes. So testing. And part of the, it's marketing. But I will be honest, like on Instagram, I don't get a whole lot of actual clients from Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm very active. I post every single day. I post different kinds of content. But I have the presence, so that is really great for me because people will, they'll be able to follow me and learn from me and kind of get to know my personality. And I feel like if I didn't have presence, it would be kind of a negative, right? Because of the industry I'm in. I'm a very visual industry. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, number one, I think it's important to be deliberate about the reasons by which you're choosing the platforms you're choosing. I definitely think there's a massive alignment between fashion, content, and your business. So Instagram makes a lot of sense there. The only thing I would add to that is identify your best content, the one that gets the most views or the most engagement, and run those as ads, driving back to your business, and run them on,
yeah,
Facebook and
that's
Instagram.
a great idea. The thing is, it's like you just don't know what you don't know if you're not talking to an expert, right? And so that goes back to your main idea: is hire the expert. Otherwise, you're just kind of like piddling around, trying different things, not knowing if it's actually working or not, right?
That's a big deal. That's a big part of it. And also, like, it just saves you a ton of time and energy. And you can, like, so we don't, like, for example, we don't do search engine optimization. We don't offer that service for our business. I've been trying to figure out SEO for my business for like 5 years. I paid someone like $2,000-3,000 for a few hours of their time. And like, I have a year and a half worth of SEO work to do that I know exactly what to do. And I hired someone and they're going to do it for our business. Like, I hired an internal person to do it.
Yeah.
But like 5 years of opportunity lost because I didn't devote the energy or the time. I also didn't find the right person. As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, like, we still hire out for other marketing services. Like, I got proposals from other SEO agencies because I wanted to understand what that feels like. And it just felt very opaque.
Yeah.
It's also very closely aligned. It's complementary to the work that the ad buying work that we do.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have much more control of it. But at the end of the day, like, anything that's opaque, if it's if it's close to my wheelhouse, I want to know what it's about. Like accounting, for example, I trust our accountant. She's amazing. And it's like, just tell me what I need to know and I'll take a look at the numbers and that's it. Like, I don't want to learn how to use QuickBooks, but I do want to learn how to use the complementary work. In another example, we hired an email marketing firm and we paid them a lot of money, tens of thousands of dollars. And we got a few pieces of business out of it. And eventually, over the course of a year and a half or 2 years, it paid out. Actually, probably the course of a year, it paid out. It was pretty quick. But the point is, I had no idea what they were doing. No clue. And it felt very black box for me. And I was like, I don't really like this. I want to figure out how to do this myself. Haven't done it yet. But I think, one of the key sort of core values of our business is that we eat our own dog food. Like, what I'm telling you is relevant is going to be what we are also doing, because it's the fundamentals are going to be very important for most businesses.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I totally agree. I mean, I think that I'm all for hiring the expert to get me there in a direct line. And anybody who, it's something I'm not an expert in. I'm like, hire the expert, just get me there faster, because time is money and I don't want to waste time.
Yeah.
I still struggle with the marketing piece. I still struggle with who do I go to, right? You were saying, like, it's about picking the right person. But a general question here: how do you measure success of a marketing campaign?
Well, first of all, let's talk about marketing. Is very general. It's a very general term.
Okay.
So there's PR and publicity, which is getting press hits. Like, so for that, you measure how many places, like, did your name appear, or did your website get linked to from Forbes and Inc. and Entrepreneur or business podcasts? That's PR and publicity.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one measurement. A lot of those people talk about impressions. Okay. Then you have search engine optimization, which is how well does your website rank? So, like, when you search for white label media buying, because a lot of our clients are directly to agencies, we work with businesses directly, but we go after agencies.
Yeah.
And when you search for white label media buying, we're number 2 on the search result, because that's exactly what we do. Now, there's millions of people in the United States who are never going to search for white label media buying, and the ones that do are going to be the ones we want to talk to. So that's search. So for search engine optimization, you're looking for improvement in your domain ranking. How effective is your domain? Like, how well is it ranked on the scale of 0 to 100? And we can go into that. How many links do you have back to your website? How many keywords are you coming up for? So those are the KPIs there. For advertising, specifically for buying advertising space, your KPIs really should be leads, sales, return on ad spend. So you spend $100 and you got $300 back. Return on ad spend, three times return on ad spend. You're going to look at an increase in order value. So if you're a restaurant, let's say you could order online. Let's say your average order value for a restaurant is $27 online. I want to increase it to $37. So that's kind of a big increase on average, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can look for that. Cost per lead for B2B services, like an accounting firm. You're looking for cost per lead, or you're looking for cost per qualified lead. So cost per lead could be $100, but only half of them turn into calls. So your actual cost per qualified lead is $200 because it's half as many people. So you really, but the problem is a lot of marketing firms are like, you need likes, comments, and shares, like, social media. So let's talk about social media marketing. Just social media is, what is your brand? What do you want your brand to stand for? And let's post a bunch of content to get people engaged. But engagement, so social media, a lot of people sell on engagement. Like I'm gonna make such interesting, compelling, relevant content that people are just gonna like, comment, and share all day long. And that's fine. That's a good intermediate step for some service providers. But at the end of the day, you kind of need sales. Like if you're going to spend $10,000, let's say $10,000 a year on social marketing, or you spend $10,000 a year on advertising, chances are the advertising will actually get you very close directly to the lead or the sale, whereas social media is going to say like, yeah, we got engagement. Look how great this is. You went from 200 people seeing your post to 700 people seeing your post. But
Yeah.
the fundamental answer is, did you get any business?
Yes.
So as a business owner, what we really, as me being a business owner and us serving business owners, what we're also looking for is fundamentally, is your effort turning into money?
Yeah. Total. I mean, that would be the obvious way, right? To determine if something like a campaign is successful or not. Okay, I want to kind of break down some thoughts and ideas that you were talking about. Okay, so you talked about PR, like press, and you talked about SEO. You talked about all these different types of marketing, and there's that. I want to cover that, but I also want to talk about what you said about social media marketing and the likes and engagement. So I have a really interesting analogy, and I just want to know if you think that it's sound when it comes to marketing. So
Okay.
you walk into these big department stores in Orange County. You have South Coast Plaza and
Sure.
Fashion Island and those places, and you walk into those places and there's these big designer brands like Christian Dior and the higher end Christian Louboutin and these really high end fashion houses that have stores within South Coast Plaza. But the reality is they don't really make money in the store. Those big designers do not make money, but they have to be there because they have to have a presence.
Right.
In those spots, because that promotes their brand, right? And promotes and gets them, I guess, because it gets them visibility and they have to have the presence. So similarly, I feel as though with Instagram and my work and my use of Instagram, I think it's fun. I think people get to know who I am. I think they get to know my style and they engage with me on small purchases, like small things that aren't like my biggest offer. But I have the presence. Like I would feel like I'm not doing my business I would be doing it a disservice if I didn't have a social media account like Instagram or TikTok, because it's the way I have to have a presence. Otherwise, I think people look at that like, why don't you have a presence on Instagram or, a social platform like that? So my question is, what do you think about that analogy? Does that
look? It tracks. It makes perfect sense. I think fundamentally every business owner has limited resources. I don't care if you're Hershey's or your local mom and pop yoga studio. Like there's always limited resources.
Yeah.
So the fundamental question is, what do you need to do today so that you're in business tomorrow?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the decision you need to make. Like, and this goes back to a strategy. And what's interesting to me is that, a strategy is a navigation plan for you to go from point A to point B, from Los Angeles to New York. You're going to fly, you're going to drive, you're going to take the train. Okay, if you fly, day or night, expensive seat, inexpensive seat, etc. But you backtrack from your destination and you work on the individual steps that get you to where you are at this moment in time. So for business owners, and it can deviate, by the way, like your strategy is meant to be flexible so that you can learn things over time. What's important for all of us is how do we make, entrepreneurs are kind of like lazy. Like, how do I get the best outcome with the least amount of work or
Yeah.
money or stress or anxiety or whatever that is?
Yeah.
My question to you is, and I don't have I'm not trying specifically to make a point, because I think being on Instagram is probably the right place for you, especially if you're getting some traction on it and you
Yeah.
think it helps your brand.
Yeah.
What happens to your business? What happens to your revenue
Uh-huh.
if you're no longer on Instagram? If you just delete Instagram, what happens to your revenue? Now, and there's two things there.
Mhm.
I would submit that maybe your KPIs for your business are not exclusively about money. They're maybe about cachet too,
Mhm.
and power and relevance.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. So there's so many factors, like, people say, how do you measure success, right? Of course, you need to have impact your bottom line, because we're not in business to play. We're in business. Well, we can play in business, but we're not in business to not make money, right?
Yeah,
Unless it's a hobby business. But if you're trying to make a living, you have to do things that impact your bottom line. But there are other benefits and purposes along the way as you get there. Maybe, you might not get there in a straight line. You might get there in a windy road, but you at least have picked up certain things along the way, picked up more people interested in what you do. Maybe they're not interested today. Maybe they're interested in 5 years. You are becoming an expert, credibility in the field that gets you speaking engagements. It's kind of, for me, I feel like you never know where you got certain business from sometimes. Like,
100%.
somebody saw you at a speaking engagement 2 years ago and then later referred a friend to you. Like, those things are so hard to quantify. And so doing these things, I feel, is kind of part of building the whole empire, if you will. You have to be active on a social media platform. You've got to, do all the things that build into, the bigger cause. But
100% agree with that.
yeah, yeah. But I totally, when you ask me if I took away social media today, would it impact my bottom line? I don't think so. I don't think it would. But it's become part of the business that I don't know what it gives me, actually, other
Right.
than now my face is on people's, like, people see my face, and maybe I come to mind when it comes to fashion or style, and so that has value when you're trying to be an expert in the field, right? When you're trying
And
to,
building a brand is
yeah,
very, like, too many digital marketers or businesses are like, I need to transact tomorrow. But the reason people are going to transact with you in a year is because of your brand, and
exactly.
you're investing in the power of the brand. So my philosophy fundamentally is make good business decisions and really just be clear or aligned or understand what you're trying to accomplish and what your capabilities are and what your motivations are. Like, I also love being on TikTok because I want to be known as someone who's really good at business and marketing and entrepreneurship. Like, I want that recognition. So
Yeah.
there's a soul, a benefit to my soul on being that person.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the other thing, right? There's a lot. How do you measure success in what area? Like, that is part of your success, is being the person that people ask the questions of, that they know that you have the answers, even if they might not convert as a client, they might know somebody that needs that kind of thing. So that's very good conversation around marketing. I really actually am fascinated by marketing, because most of the time sometimes you get a client and you just don't know where they came from. It's like, oh, I saw your name in a magazine where you styled somebody 3 years ago. Those always fascinate me. so so the other thing that I wanted to unpack and talk about was you were talking about the different kinds of marketing, the press, SEO, and so forth. So let's say, so I'm at that point in my business where, I've rebuilt my website several times with the promise that SEO is going to be, that is working. But how do I even know? Because I can't tell.
I can tell you how to check. There's tools you can use to check, like Moz.com and
What is
Ahrefs.
it?
Moz, MOZ.com.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm going to be picking your brain after the show.
Yeah, like you can literally just check how many keywords do you rank for and what do you rank for those keywords.
Okay.
And which keywords are they, by the way?
I'm sorry.
And specifically which keywords. So like for me, white label media buying, we're number 2 organically. We also buy ads on that, but we're number 2 organically. So it's like it'll give you a report of everything you need to know.
That's amazing. I would love to learn more about that. So let's say I came to you, or I was in search of somebody that I want all the things because I want to see what's going to actually work. And I don't know if this is even a good strategy, but like I would want press, like I want somebody to write some press releases for me or give me that kind of PR. I would want to get on maybe a TV or show or something. I would want somebody to work on my SEO. Like all these things are kind of important. And I feel as though it's almost you have to do a little bit of all of it, or is that a bad strategy? Do you have to focus on one at a time?
My opinion on that is you're always going to be limited by money.
Yeah.
Just generally, like I said, even if you're Hershey's, you're going to be limited by money.
Right.
To achieve your goals, because Hershey's has bigger goals than like I have as a business owner.
Yeah.
So the first thing I would say is, what's your budget? If you don't know your budget, I can help you define a budget. But fundamentally, it's what do you want to do with this? Like going back to the vision of your business, you're going to spend X amount of money. What do you actually want to happen? Are you trying to build a brand, which means you're cool not getting sales? Or do you need sales? Do you want sales? Whatever the case is. So if you want sales, like close in the next 3 to 6 months, then I would do a different set of tactics than I would do if you're trying to build a brand. So getting on television in a show, first of all, we don't do that. That's a completely different thing. But I would advise you that you need to first understand what you're looking to accomplish and then work backwards to how to accomplish those goals. So if you need sales, I would be focusing on advertising and in using a feedback loop to understand which of your pieces of content are doing well so we can use those in some of your advertising efforts. But if you want notoriety and visibility and you're trying to get you want to be on a show, like think about the Real World from like 20 years ago. A lot of those young people were trying to be actors, like Eric Nies and a bunch of, I don't know, like that just came out of nowhere. But like, he did all his workout videos. Like he got on the Real World, not because he wanted to be on reality TV. He wanted to make money on television.
Yeah.
Like that was a conduit to that. But
Yes.
the one guy, I forgot his name, he was at UCLA and he was an accounting guy. Like this guy was just like getting his degree in accounting and wanted to be a regular human being and kind of like wanted to be part of this experiment. So different tactics will get you different outcomes. So first, let's identify the outcome.
But let me ask, and when you're obviously every business wants to get more sales. I mean, you're not in business if you're not selling really. But I also want to be building my brand at the same time. Like those are two things that I want to be doing in tandem. So why just one or the other?
You don't pick one or the other. You just allocate more of your budget to one thing. So the question is, how many sales do you need, or what volume of sales, or what's the amount of the sale you need for the next 6 months? That's number one. And then number two, what's your budget? Like if you have $100,000 a month to spend in marketing and advertising, you can do a lot of different things. Yeah. If you have $10,000, you're going to focus exclusively on sales. A byproduct of your marketing and advertising will be building brand. But like when you see commercials on television, like the car commercials that like the car winding down the mountain and it looks so beautiful and it's a Lexus or a BMW or something, those are brand commercials. Like they're telling you about a car, but they're telling you the transformative value of the lifestyle. Like a lot of those ads aren't even telling you to buy now. Some of them are, but a lot of them aren't. Yeah. And the reason for that is because they're building brand. Building brand means you can spend money today and not recoup it for like 2 to 5 years.
Right. Right. Yeah. There definitely is a different focus depending on what you're trying to do. And perhaps the focusing on sales is critical for somebody with a smaller budget, because then you hope that as a byproduct, the brand is getting built rather than focusing on that with the money and the finances.
Exactly.
How important do you think storytelling is, to create like a compelling content that resonates with your ideal client or with the audience?
It's everything. People respond to stories. That's literally human nature. Like the way that story, the way that we communicated and told shared information was through stories for however long we've been around.
Yeah.
So I think marketing and advertising that tells a story will be far more resonant to people than marketing or advertising that tries to sell you something. You
Yeah.
so so storytelling is not relegated to movies or streaming or television or shows, right? It's you can tell a story with your commercials. You can tell a story with the series of commercials that you see over, or ads that you see in a period, a set of time. So the chronology of time, the moments that you see that brand can all tell a story. Like like a good example of how advertising tells stories is like, so so you're in Orange County. I'm in Los Angeles. Do you ever go out to like Palm Springs?
Hmm.
Yeah, so there's billboards along the way that like tell a story for one specific business. Like there's restaurants and there's shows and whatever, and there's like 2, 3, 5 different billboards all for the same thing that are like spread across 10 miles. That's storytelling
Yeah.
in a very static medium.
Yeah. Yeah. I thank you for pointing that out. People don't realize that storytelling can come in different forms. It doesn't have to be a video. It doesn't, there's so many different ways to tell a story and to sprinkle that in and around for businesses, would you say?
I mean, Marvel does that really well. Like what I think is interesting, there's a phrase, and I just can't remember the phrase, but it's like multi-channel storytelling or something. It's like, what I think is interesting is like Marvel runs you have a movie, a big, like the Avengers or something, then you have a show like Loki that is happens like in the span of a few seconds in the Marvel in the big Avengers movie. So you have these different places to tell a story. So from the consumer perspective, look, we all know that people say that they don't want advertising. They don't like ads, but they like the product of the ads. They like the fact that, they have free access to Facebook and that they have ad-supported television. Would we love it all to be free? Absolutely. But that's not the world that we live in.
Yeah.
Now, the next best option is to tell a story to resonate. It's not good. You don't want to just say, here I exist, you should buy my product. Good storytelling and advertising is really about explaining or demonstrating the problem you solve for the customer.
Hmm.
One of the best ways to resonate with a person who you want to buy your stuff is to tell them that what problem they have in ways that are even more effective than they can verbalize themselves.
Hmm.
That's the way you get a customer.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and so that's and that's why you have creative shops that won't get out of bed for anything under 25 grand, and that's just for a little thing, and they spend you know they earn hundreds of thousands of dollars on projects because they know how to tell stories in really cohesive ways.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, this is a very good foundational education about marketing and kind of opening the eyes of entrepreneurs of where to focus their energy so that they can get their biggest bang for your buck, so to speak, when they are using a marketing agency. Okay, one of the last questions I'm going to ask is, um, if you what has been a brand or a business that was like your favorite marketing ad or campaign? And you might have to do some searching in your brain, but I was curious.
I'm trying not to find one that's self-serving, but I'll tell you, 'cause I can't think of anything else. As a kid, I was totally fascinated with marketing and advertising, but so 20 years ago, I started in this business, and probably like around 2006, there was a movie called When a Stranger Calls, which was, a remake of like a 1980s movie. The plot of the movie, plot plot alert, is that the call was coming from inside the house. There's a young woman, she's babysitting in a cabin, and someone was somehow inside the house and terrorizing her. It's a horror movie for young people.
Great.
we ran a marketing campaign where I was the lead and I was the sort of point person to manage and create these concepts. And what we did was we took over MySpace, which is, remember MySpace?
Yes.
We took over MySpace. We had the character profile. Jill have a MySpace profile as you normally would for any person her age at that time. You could call an 800 number and like there was a recorded like conversation you could have with her, but she'd have to get off the phone because like she got weird calls coming from inside the house. So it was like immersing you inside the movie, and there was a chat bot on AOL Instant Messenger.
Interesting.
2006, way before ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So pre-programmed chatbot. We got literally billions of impressions for this ad, and we won an award from Media Week and all that stuff. But I think what's interesting, what captures people is environments that are unexpected or experiences that are unexpected. And that's that's the goal of advertising, is to resonate with customers. Part of the issue with advertising is that there's so many. We're receiving like 5, 7, 10,000 messages per day in all major formats.
Mm-hmm.
So part of the job of advertising is to do something that's special, compelling in some way, that people stop, they pay attention, and they really consume your message.
Mm-hmm.
And the creative and the storytelling is a big part of that.
Yeah, that's fascinating. This has been such a great show in terms of knowledge and content. So thank you so much for being here. We always wrap up with the Waist Up Wardrobe weekly wrap up. And the one thing we're going to kind of just bring it down to a summary here. If there's one takeaway the audience should take away from the show, what would that one takeaway be?
Don't do the bells and whistles. Focus on the fundamentals.
And how about a tip that you can leave us with?
On Meta, if you plan on advertising for more than a few months, do broad targeting, age, gender, and location. The reason for that is because Meta routes your ad creative to the right person at the right time. You can target hundreds of millions of people, but your ad will get to the right person, and keep testing new ad creative.
Interesting. Okay. We're learning really some cutting edge things here. And how about a tool that you recommend?
A tool that I recommend, well, I talked about Descript, which I like. I like repurpose.io for content posting. Yeah, and the coolest thing I realized was just there inside your Apple phone, your iPhone, your photos track the text inside the photos. Like if you search for the word, so if you search for the word, if you ever took a photo of anything that has the word refund on it, it will identify all the photos with the word refund in it. Like go to your, it's crazy. Like go to your iPhone or go to your photos and just search for like words. Apple now understands, I think, using AI, like the content and the context of the images that are in your phone.
Wow. I just did that right now. And I typed in the word dad, and I got all pictures that have the word dad in it.
Yeah. Or it also knows faces. That kind of has been around for a while. But yeah, fundamentally, like when I go to conferences, I just take photos and I search and I copy and paste the information from the photo of the business card into my contacts, my CRM system.
Wow. Yeah. Incredible. I mean, technology is rapidly changing, and we have more and more tools at our disposal. The tool Descript was, you explained that is one of your favorites, and you said it's an easy way to edit video content and rearrange things. Is that correct? I just want to make sure I understand.
100%. If I can create a video for like a minute or 2 minutes on my, just like this, I pop it into Descript. It'll cut out all the empty spaces. It'll cut out all the filler words. With another 2 clicks, I can have a template of the subtitles, just with the colors and the way that the formatting that I like. Then I can I don't have to actually edit video. I can copy and paste and move around text, and the video and the text move together.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's incredible.
That's incredible, really incredible. We live in the age of AI, which I'm sure is a conversation, a topic for another day, but that has completely probably transformed your industry, I imagine. Of course it has. I mean, that's one of the biggest innovations in marketing at this point. Finally, action item. Let's put people into action. If they had one thing, before I go there, actually, is you said you had a freemium to give us. So
Yeah.
with hashtag market and shine, what is that freemium that people can get?
So it's a combination of it's a 13-minute video with more detail about how to do the broad targeting on Meta. So don't do keywords or interest targeting, do broad targeting, age, gender, and location, and also a creative testing framework. So all you have to do is create 5 ads a month, and you're going to do various testing. You're going to test a bunch of variations and find the one ad that is your absolute all-star every month. And there's a very specific system to do that. And this video takes you through that system so that you can scale up your advertising and generate more leads and sales, and train Meta's machine learning algorithm to find your best customer. That's the key part of it.
Wow. Okay. Could that be our action item, or is there another?
Yeah, that's it. That's all done.
Okay, great. So we combined action item with this freemium that you're generously giving with the hashtag market and shine. Anybody who puts that on in the replay or now will get that video. So thank you so much, Robert. It was a pleasure getting to know you and learning from you. So privileged to have you here. And Waist Up Wardrobe Nation, that's a wrap for the show about Marketing Mania. I feel like we could have volume 2, 3, and 4 of this episode because there's so much to learn about marketing and just what marketing and advertising is the way to go for an individual business, and just kind of creating everything that Robert was talking about here today. But thank you for joining us. And as you know, we're here on Thursdays at 11:30 live, bringing you a new fresh episode about how to show up professionally on camera and everything entrepreneurship. That was really great. Thank you. I learned so much, Robert. Thank you so much for educating me. I can't hear you though. I don't know if your mic is off or.
I muted myself just in case.
Yeah. No, that was awesome. I feel like we could have like multiple conversations around this, but then I'd be taking advantage of your wisdom. So
no, it's okay. It's all good. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. And I wanted to just let you know, and I'm sure Rick is going to pop in here any second now, but I wanted to ask you, I have met such incredible experts just interviewing them on my podcast through Podmatch. And so really, rock stars in their field. And I am thinking about putting sort of a group of people minds together where we can collaborate or refer each other business, or just kind of come in for questions on business, maybe create partnerships. So I'm going to be sending out an email on that. Is that something you would want to receive and be part of?
Yeah, 100%.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for that. Hey, Rick, that was great, huh?
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. I'm going to I know I'm going to go and look into the script and this video that you're going to be sharing. I think that's so awesome.
Where do I share it? Can I give it to you now?
Yeah, you can Rick.
Yeah. You can drop it in the comments.
All right.
Do you have access to the comments?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
So I have the private comments.
Oh yeah, just drop it there, and then I'll put it in the general comments.
Okay. Can I ask you to please add another person to emails when you send me that, because he'll keep me on track?
Sure, of course.
It's Adrian@brillmedia.co.
Okay.
Which I just put in the chat as well.
Yeah. Great. Thank you so much. Yes, that would be awesome. Because at least I know how it is, like trying to coordinate everything.
It's hard. So where do I find this?
So Rick, you want to tell Robert?
Oh yeah. Oh, so the link to the studio link that I sent for you to get in also included the channel links to Facebook and YouTube.
Man, I don't know if I have those. Hold on, let me see. Channel links to Facebook and YouTube. Let's see. Okay. Show details here.
You have it? It would have been where the same email you got the link for the studio.
Oh, there we go. Got it. And you have, did I send you all the bio and stuff like that?
Oh, we got it from Podmatch.
All right,
The
cool.
bio? Yeah, we got all your information from Podmatch. That's where I think we connected. My assistant combs the Podmatch for like great guests. And so she's probably the one who reached out to Lillian. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, Lillian, I saw that. She just texted me.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, any questions? How did that feel? Okay. How did it feel for you as the guest?
I liked it. It was great. I really appreciate you. I mean, this was great. I really enjoyed the conversation, and yeah, thank you.
Great. Well, awesome. I'll be reaching out, and in the meantime, you go market away.
I'll be there. Bye, guys. Thank you.
All right, Robert. See you later.
Okay. So let's do the speedy recap so that we can go offline.
Yep.
Yeah? Okay.
Yep.
Oh, I have to remember how I do this. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see. Okay.
All right. I'm gonna mute unless you have a question.
No, I'm good. Okay. Want to get all your questions answered. Okay, I'm gonna start over because I thought I was distracted. Okay. Want to get all your questions answered about marketing, about AI, entrepreneurship as it relates. I'm gonna start over again. Anything marketing, advertising, AI. Okay. Want to get all your questions answered about marketing and advertising and AI, all the traditional ways of advertising and all the cutting edge ways of advertising? Well, in this episode, we do just that with our expert. Oh, I should have said so that. Okay. Should I do it over? Yeah, probably. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Want to learn everything? Want to discover everything you need to know about marketing and advertising, including AI and different ways of marketing, the cutting edge ways and the traditional ways? Well, in this episode, Marketing Mania, we talk about all those things with our experts so that you know exactly what path to take when you're marketing your company. That's good, right?
Good.
Yeah. Okay. So. In Waist Up Wardrobe, in episode 156 of Waist Up Wardrobe, in episode 156 of Waist Up Wardrobe, Marketing Mania. Okay. I'm getting rusty because I haven't done this in a while. Okay. In episode 156 of Waist Up Wardrobe, Marketing Mania, the Waist Up Wardrobe weekly wrap-up in a nutshell boils down to this. The main takeaway when it comes to marketing is hire the expert. There is no sense in you as a business owner trying to do this yourself if you want to get results. And results should show up in about 3 months, according to our guest on this show. And number 2, a tip for you to learn. Okay, I'm going to start a tip. Is that okay?
Yes.
Tip, okay. Broad targeting. And as for the tip, our expert said, go on Meta and do some broad target marketing by age and gender, because you can learn a lot by doing that. And it doesn't cost a lot and it doesn't take a lot of effort. And a tool that he loves to use is called Descript, and a tool that he recommended is Descript. It's an AI tool that helps you take a video, edit it, get rid of all the empty white space so that you can create easy videos. Is that okay? That part, the tool?
Yeah, it depends where you're going next.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to try that one again and just wrap up the action item in it.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. What did he say the action? How come I didn't put that to the Meta tool Descript? Leads. Okay. And a tool that our expert recommended is called Descript. It's an AI tool that helps you take your videos, edit them in a super easy way. Let me start over again. And the tool that our expert recommended is called Descript. It is an AI tool that helps you take your videos, edit them with ease so that you can create fast and really easy videos that you can use on your social media and so forth. Okay. And a tool that our expert recommended, is called Descript. It's an AI tool that helps you edit video with ease so that you can use it in your advertising and in your social media platforms. Finally, his action item was this: go on Meta, do some broad target advertising with age and gender, and see what you come up with. Do 5 different ads and see which one is actually creates that juice for you.
It's age, gender, location.
Age, gender, location. Okay. Thank you for that clarification. Okay. And he left us with an action item of going on Meta and doing some broad targeting ads. Okay. And he left us with an action item that is going on Meta and doing some broad targeting advertising ads. Age, gender, location. And he left us with an action item to go on Meta and do some broad targeting ads based on age, location, and gender, and see what happens. Do 5 of them, test it, see what works best, and see how that can impact the marketing in your business. Is that good?
Yeah, I can work with that.
Okay, great. So let's cut the feed.